Hello, everyone. Chris here with Leeloo. So glad to see you guys. Happy Monday. Today's October 28th, 2024. Before we get going, let's check out the risk disclosure. Futures and options trading carries a significant risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Only trade with money you can afford to lose. And remember that everything we talk about in this video and all of our video content on YouTube is for educational purposes only. And that also includes everything from our guest speakers. Everything they talk about is not endorsed by Leeloo nor and also it's for educational purposes only. That being said, I have a very special guest today with us. I had to track him down. I had to go to Papua New Guinea and find him and bring him back. He's been all over the place, and we're glad to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, BK is in the house. BK, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you. I know you weren't in Papua New Guinea, but it's the first thing that came to mind that was far away.
That was a
So,
good one. I like that one.
yeah. So glad to have you. For those who don't know, let me just do a brief introduction to BK. And just before I keep going, I just want to be sure our sound is sounding nice and clear. So I see that we have Idris in the house. Ernest Caprice is here. Hello, guys. Good to see you. If you can say hello, just let me know if you can hear me, just so we don't get too far gone and you guys don't hear anything. So, BK, just remember that I'm sure you already know this, but the listeners they're always like about 20 seconds behind. So anytime I ask a question, it's about a 20-second delay here. So,
Okay.
but I'm gonna keep going here, and unless I get a red flag that they can't hear me, we'll be good. So, BK, little background on BK, and obviously BK, correct me if I'm wrong in anything. But BK was just a star athlete in college. Um, um, from baseball to football, and played a little in the minors, I believe, in baseball. Just a phenomenal guy. And soon after that, he started trading different things, stocks, options, and futures. Ultimately, dialing in through a combination of things and some relationships that he was able to build. He was able to, after losing, just like everyone else when they get started, a little bit of money, eventually was able to get his skills in line. And he's been trading for the last 20 years. Does that sound correct, BK? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, that's correct. One thing I will say, I didn't lose a little bit of money. I lost a lot of money starting. So I wish it was just a little bit. Unfortunately, it was not.
Right. Yes. But hey, you got things under control. You were able to master your trade, and you've been successfully trading for several years now. 15 plus years, um, and you are not only my mentor, but a good friend of mine. And when we met, we were talking. Well, not we met, but after we've known each other, we started talking about trading. Or I just asked you. It's like I didn't know what futures trading was. I didn't know any of that. And we got talking, and you were able to and willing to take me under your wing, and you showed me everything that I know today. And in fact, until this day, besides just kind of joking around to go and kind of watch other people kind of get a little laughter on some people on YouTube that are trying to sell stuff. I have not taken any single course or watched any series videos about learning how to trade outside of you. So I can say that 99.9%, I'm just going to say 99.9 just in case there's that 0.01% of me hearing something else. Uh, Everything that I know about trading it has come from you. Um, and that's a good thing. So typically, that can not it's not necessarily always a good thing. Sometimes, from depending on who you're learning from. In this case, it's been a great. So thank you for your time, BK. Literally last second, like I was like, hey, I texted you, and I was like, hey, want to go on YouTube Live? Like I didn't even ask you like, how your weekend was.
Yeah, it was pretty short, quick, to the point. So I was like, well, I guess if you need me to, I will.
That's awesome.
But
Well,
again, it's going to be limited. Unfortunately, I have to pick up my son here from school here in just a little bit.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So let's get to the point real quick. We're gonna keep it nice and short because we're gonna also do a quick recording right after this YouTube video. So guys, go and check that out. because I'm going to be doing a giveaway on that other video. So, but let's take about 5 to maybe 7 minutes, BK, and I'll let you do most of the talking. Just kind of tell us, where do you see the markets going? From your experience on how we're coming, if you're in the United States, if you're listening, watching from all over the world, we have a US election, a presidential election coming up. I think it's next week. And so, how have you historically seen the markets react to that? What are your thoughts on where we are today? We're almost all-time highs in some markets. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to go in? And yeah, and anything else you want to share. So I'm going to leave it to you here.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty broad question. It's going to be hard to sum up in 5 minutes, but the reality is nobody knows. I mean, that's the hard truth, reality of it. But just from my experience over the years and trading through elections and especially with economic times like we are, I kind of what I believe is going to happen is what you've already seen happen thus far. And that's market making new highs, markets coming off of new highs pretty strong. You'll see a lot of uh, backwards and forward, a lot of chop markets in a bigger time frame. That makes sense. It'll be trending on a small time frame, and from a larger time frame, there'll just be a lot of chop markets from here and making new highs, retracing off of those highs, until the election's done. But then even after the election, guys, this one's going to be a little bit different because of where we are economically from a macroeconomic standpoint and just from where the economy's at. No matter who gets elected, leaving politics out of it, the markets will do well for a short period of time. Then my belief, just from a pure number standpoint, and what I've seen in the past in kind of economic times like we're in now in the trading world, I believe not too far after the elections, again, no matter who wins, I think we're going to see a significant pullbacks in the markets just because the economy needs it. There's just no way around it. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just, you just look at the numbers. Don't believe what people tell you. Get into the numbers, start seeing what history has told us, because unfortunately, sometimes history repeats. And this is definitely one of those times. And just like you might know this, you might not, but uh, pretty much for the first time ever in the U.S. economy, anyway, that you know um, our interest payments for our debt, just the interest alone, outweighs our gross GDP. So, guys, we're paying more in interest than we make as a country. So, this is the first time in history this has ever been done that I'm aware of. So, it doesn't matter who it's kind of so far gone, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter who gets elected. It's going to be a brief euphoria period, obviously, I believe, but then pretty quick after it, no matter what policies are in place or who takes over, um, unfortunately, we're in for a major correction and recession. And that's where I feel trading is a skill that you have to learn. If you don't fully understand it, you have to learn it because it's a recession-proof skill. As long as the market exists, you'll be able to feed your family, good Lord willing. So if you learn a skill, but just from a very quick answer, I just feel like the markets will continue to do what it's doing right now. Not a lot of change. We'll make good runs up. I feel like we'll make new highs again, most likely in the near future, probably right around election time, maybe just after election time. But then, like I said, I think as a massive in the first quarter after the election, I feel it was a massive pullback, and uh, and it's not a 3 month pullback. It's going to end up being multi-year pullback. So, in my opinion, just from a number standpoint, until we can kind of get healthy again as an economy, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt a lot of people. And so again, that's where I say trading is very important to kind of learn that skill if you can. And it takes time to learn the skill, but anybody can learn it. Anybody can learn it, no matter who you are. Anybody can learn the skill of trading. It's just the hardest thing about trading is mastering yourself. We've talked about that multiple times. I think Chris and I have, and it's all about you mastering yourself and your psychology and your emotions. And if you can do that, you can take 100,000 different trading strategies out there and make them profitable. Um, so it's just what's coming up, I guess it's going to be more important than ever. But I do feel like the market will continue to be sideways on a bigger time frame. It's obviously going to trend intraday, but as a bigger macro outlook, I feel like it will probably make new highs again. And then again, not in my opinion, and some other people I know as well, just from a pure number standpoint, where we're at in the economy, I believe after the election, again, no matter who wins, there's going to be a massive, massive correction. So that's the way I'm looking at it and positioning myself to do that. But that's in some longer positions that I have and options. But from a daily standpoint, I do a lot of day trading and a little bit of a swing trading concept, but also do a lot of day trading. So most of my analysis is chart based for my day trading stuff. So not so much macro based. Um, so that's where I'm at as far as what the outlook looks like for me. So we're not going to get deep into politics and economics here, and can't do it obviously in 5 minutes, but it's very straightforward as far as what I see happening. Yep.
Awesome. And how so the good thing about futures, right, and options is you can trade, but let's just talk about futures, is regardless of what the market is doing regarding making all-time highs or doing huge pull-ups, you can make money either way. Just like you can lose money, you can make money. Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome. So for those who are trading with Leeloo, the good thing is, you're not putting your you're not opening your own account and you're not having to risk your own capital. So that's a good thing. But let's say that there are people that, let's say, trading with Lulu and trading their own capital separately. Do you have any you kind of already mentioned the big pullback, but when you say lows and when you say pullback and you said multi-year, but what are you thinking? Are you thinking we're gonna erase what we've done in the last year or the last 2 years, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, let me just go ahead and say companies like Leeloo provide a phenomenal opportunity for people nowadays to get into trading without having to risk a lot of their own money. So, for that purpose, I definitely give Leeloo and some of these other companies props. But Leeloo is definitely a big, big opportunity if people will take it seriously and use it to learn, right? And the goal um, is to make money with a company like Leeloo and eventually move some of that money and profits they make into opening their own live accounts. That would be the goal. I would suggest to do it that way. But so again, Leeloo is a big piece of the puzzle for people that just wasn't there, 10, 15, 20 years ago when I started trading. You had to put your own money out there to learn, and it was a very expensive lesson. So definitely take advantage of these type of companies, like Chris and Leeloo there. But when I'm talking about pullbacks, yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, absolutely racing a couple of years worth of gains here. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and pinpoint a number because that could be all over the board, and I don't know that, unfortunately. I wish I did. If I had a crystal ball, I would tell you that. But I absolutely see last few years of gains being erased for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining that. So I know we're out of time, and I know again this was last seconds. I appreciate you coming on. We do have one question, and you
Yeah,
kind of already answered this. I thought, but it's still a good question. Still gonna ask it. This is
sure.
from Adriz. By the way, Adriz is one of our most faithful listeners. So shout out to Adriz. Is it wise to trade in these days? And I think when he say in
Yeah,
this days in this kind of environment,
yeah, I think it's very wise if you know how to trade. I mean,
right?
that's that caveat. It kind of goes back to you. Do you really understand trading, and are you in control of yourself? But at the same time, you have to be very dedicated to having risk off positions, and understanding that your risk tolerance, really understand that and what you're capable putting out there where it doesn't hurt you if you take the loss, because there will be a lot of ups and downs, and it kind of, especially as we get closer to the election, which we're not too far away here, it could get a little more volatile, or it could get a little sideways. We just don't. I mean, it's going to be volatile more in a sideways action if that makes sense. But yeah, absolutely. This is still a great time to trade. There's always there's always opportunity to trade no matter what the economic conditions are for sure. But trading right now is more important. The most important thing about trading right now is understanding risk, and
Mhm.
understanding what your tolerances are, what you are capable of. Let's say worst case, what are you capable of losing and still be able to manage your day-to-day life? I mean, first off, you shouldn't trade with money you can't lose, but at the same time, if you have your own personal trading account, then you got to look to still try to make that grow. So capital preservation is very important, but I would at this point definitely probably slim down my risk just a little bit. Still trade if that's what you do. If you're a day trader like I am, I still trade, but maybe I don't take positions like I do when we're not this close to an election. So I take a smaller position, so my risk capital is I do my own risk assessments by making sure, I do certain calculations that I use that, okay, during these kind of economic times, this is all I'm willing to risk on the market because nobody knows what the market's going to do. And that's the hard truth and reality of it. Even though we can have high edges in the market, which you need to have an edge, but there's high probability trades that you'll have with an edge that will still fail more often in these kind of conditions. But you still have to follow your rules and you still take the trades as they present themselves, if you have an edge in the market, because they still have to play out. So it really comes down to, well, what is your risk tolerance at this point? And it should be kind of brought in a little bit. So you should be looking to get risk off faster as well, but so especially from a longer, if you're a long-term trader, if you're a day trader, then you're looking, your targets are just need to be a little tighter, your stops a little, maybe a little tighter depending on how you do your stops, but your targets just be a little bit quicker to take off the table, and so yeah, absolutely to answer the question without babbling here, but it's still a great time to trade. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we'll finish with that. BK, thank you so much. We're about to record, guys. Listen, all those listening right now, we're about to record a video. We're gonna cover some of what we just covered, and he's gonna add a little more that we didn't get to cover here on the YouTube live today. I am going to heavily push on BK to join us a couple more times, maybe this week leading up to the election. And I do want to give a shout out to his wonderful family. I won't name them, too many to name, but just wonderful parents, wonderful, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. One of them is like, way cooler. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I was
most of them
messing.
are.
Most of them are okay. One of them is kind of no. They're all just great kids. So I always
Thank
like
you.
to pick on the younger one. He's funny.
It
So
is.
just great kids. One of them playing college ball. And when I
Yep,
say ball, I mean baseball, right? It's not
that's correct.
basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No baseball. Yeah.
So, well, I don't know if that ball means basketball, but yeah, just great athletes all around, just great people, and just the nicest people you ever meet. And so, thank you, BK, and thank you for taking time from your family to hang out with us for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and look forward to doing more. And yeah, if anybody has questions, please don't hesitate to get them to Chris, and I'll try to answer them as I can. But I'm just a guy like anybody else, trying to make a dollar. So just, um, but very thankful to be here. So thank you.
Thank you, BK. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And like I said, please go and watch that YouTube video we're about to post here soon in the next few minutes. I'm going to be doing a giveaway there and hear more of BK. So let's say to be continued.